First story, Whispers in the Shadows by Alex Mitchell. The night had settled over the dense woodlands of Yosemite National Park as I embarked on my solo shift as a park ranger. The moon cast an eerie glow through the ancient trees, creating a labyrinth of shadows that seemed to dance with the whispers of the wind. My flashlight cut through the darkness as I patrolled the trails, my senses heightened by the solitude of the wilderness. As I ventured deeper into the heart of the park, a feeling of unease crept over me. The usual symphony of nocturnal sounds had hushed, leaving me with an unsettling silence that echoed with every step. I dismissed it as my imagination playing tricks on me, but a flicker of movement caught my eye. Shadows flitted between the trees, elusive and evasive. My radio crackled with static, making me jump. A voice, distorted and barely audible, whispered, "Turn back." I hesitated, my hand gripping the radio tightly. Was it a prank? But the urgency in the voice sent shivers down my spine. Ignoring the warning, I pressed on, determined to complete my patrol. As I approached an ancient sequoia, an inexplicable chill enveloped me. The air seemed charged with an otherworldly energy. I strained my ears, and in the silence, I heard it. A distant chorus of whispers, unintelligible, yet filled with a malevolence that chilled me to the bone. Panic gnawed at the edges of my mind, urging me to flee, but duty held me in place. The whispers grew louder, converging into a cacophony of disembodied voices. My flashlight flickered, casting long, distorted shadows on the towering trees. A figure materialized in the darkness, its features obscured by the shadows. I fumbled for my radio, attempting to call for backup, but the communication system had succumbed to the unseen force that gripped the forest. A sudden gust of wind swept through the clearing, extinguishing my flashlight. In the pitch-black darkness, I felt a presence closing in. The whispers surrounded me, now forming coherent sentences that echoed with an unsettling familiarity. They spoke of forgotten sins, ancient curses, and the price paid by those who dared to disturb the slumber of the forest. Blindly stumbling through the dark, I tripped over an unseen root, crashing to the forest floor. As I lay there disoriented and vulnerable, the whispers intensified. I could feel unseen eyes watching, judging. A guttural voice whispered directly into my ear, sending a cold breath down my neck. "Leave this place, Ranger, before the shadows claim you too." With a surge of adrenaline, I scrambled to my feet and sprinted blindly through the forest, guided only by the distant moonlight. The whispers pursued me, echoing through the trees until I burst into the relative safety of the park's perimeter. Gasping for breath, I dared not look back into the abyss of the woods. Days later, I handed in my resignation, unable to erase the haunting whispers that lingered in the recesses of my mind. The forest had secrets, ancient and malevolent, and I was just a trespasser in a realm where shadows held dominion. Second story, The Midnight Watch by Elena Petrov. The dense canopy of Bavarian Forest National Park stretched above me as I embarked on my nightly patrol. Unlike my usual daytime shifts, the forest at night had a surreal, otherworldly quality. My footsteps echoed through the silence as I navigated the winding trails, guided by the soft glow of moonlight filtering through the leaves. The air was thick with an unsettling stillness, broken only by the occasional rustle of nocturnal creatures. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. My flashlight swept across the shadows, revealing nothing but towering trees that loomed like sentinels in the darkness. As I reached a secluded glade bathed in moonlight, An inexplicable heaviness settled over me. The temperature dropped, and an ethereal mist curled around the trees. My radio crackled to life, emitting a faint voice that seemed to emerge from the depths of the forest.
"Beware the ancient guardians,"
it warned cryptically before succumbing to static. Unease gnawed at me, but duty propelled me forward. The path ahead led to an old stone ruin, remnants of a forgotten era. I approached cautiously, my flashlight revealing moss-covered walls and crumbling archways. Suddenly, the ruins seemed to come alive with whispered secrets, an indistinct murmuring that sent shivers down my spine. As I ventured deeper, the whispers coalesced into desperate pleas and haunting lamentations. It was as if the very stones held the memories of a bygone era, a tale of tragedy etched into the fabric of the forest. A spectral figure materialized before me, a silhouette bathed in the glow of the moon. The apparition spoke of an ancient curse that bound the spirits of the forest to eternal guardianship. I listened in awe and terror as the ghostly presence recounted tales of betrayal, lost love, and the unending penance of the woodland sentinels. The air resonated with the echoes of their anguish, and I felt an inexplicable connection to the tragic tale. My radio crackled once again, the voice now clearer.
"You must leave before the guardians awaken,"
it urged. Panic surged within me as I sprinted back through the forest, the whispers chasing me like vengeful spirits. The air grew colder, and the moonlight waned, as if mourning the impending disturbance. Reaching the park's perimeter, I turned to glimpse the ruin one last time. The forest seemed to sigh, the whispers fading into the night. Exhausted and bewildered, I radioed for backup, recounting the spectral encounter that defied all reason. In the following days, I delved into the park's history, uncovering forgotten legends of betrayed guardians and lost souls. The stories mirrored the ghostly encounter, leaving me haunted by the realization that the ancient past and present were inexorably entwined in the heart of the European wilderness. Third story, Shadows of Twin Pines by Nathan Thompson. The moon hung low over the sprawling expanse of Yellowstone National Park as my fellow ranger Sarah and I embarked on a night patrol. Twin Pines Campground lay nestled within the park, a seemingly tranquil haven surrounded by towering pine trees. Little did we know that the night would unravel into a twisted tapestry of terror. The air crackled with tension as we ventured deeper into the campground. The usual nocturnal symphony of chirping crickets and rustling leaves had transformed into an eerie silence that made every step echo like a whisper in the night. Sarah shot me a puzzled look, her unease mirroring my own. As we approached the heart of Twin Pines, the shadows seemed to writhe with a life of their own. Strange shapes danced on the periphery of our vision, elusive and ethereal. My flashlight flickered, casting grotesque shadows that seemed to defy the laws of nature. Sarah's voice trembled as she asked, Do you feel that?" A distant murmur echoed through the stillness, a chorus of hushed voices that seemed to emanate from the very trees. We exchanged uneasy glances, our senses on high alert. The voices grew clearer, whispering tales of long-forgotten rituals and a dark force that lurked beneath the surface of the campground. As we reached the clearing at the center of Twin Pines, an ancient ritual site lay bathed in the pale glow of the moon. Symbols etched into the earth seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. The air thickened with a tangible malevolence, and the temperature plummeted. A hooded figure emerged from the shadows, their eyes gleaming with an unnatural intensity. They spoke in a language long lost to time, invoking powers that sent shivers down our spines. Sarah and I, paralyzed by a mixture of fear and fascination, watched as the ritual unfolded before us. The whispers intensified, morphing into guttural chants that seemed to resonate with the very heartbeat of the forest. Shadows converged, forming grotesque shapes that danced in the moonlight. The ground beneath us trembled, and a primal force surged through the clearing as if awakening from centuries of slumber. In a moment of clarity, I grabbed Sarah's arm, and we stumbled backward. The ritual reached its crescendo, a cacophony of unearthly sounds that reverberated through the night. The hooded figure turned towards us, their eyes ablaze with a malevolent light.
You were never meant to witness this.
They hissed as the shadows enveloped them. We fled through the labyrinthine trails of Twin Pines, the whispers pursuing us like vengeful spirits. The air seemed charged with an energy that clung to our every step. As we burst through the campground's boundaries, the voices faded, leaving us shaken and breathless. In the days that followed, Twin Pines campground was cordoned off, and an investigation ensued. The ancient ritual site was hidden from prying eyes, but the whispers lingered in the air. Sarah and I, forever changed by that fateful night, silently vowed to protect the secrets that lurked in the shadows of Yellowstone's Twin Pines. Fourth story, Echoes of the Outback by Isabella Turner. The vast expanse of Kakadu National Park in Australia stretched before me as I embarked on my routine patrol. The sun had begun its descent, casting an amber hue over the rugged landscape. The rustle of eucalyptus leaves and the distant calls of native birds created a symphony of wilderness, seemingly untouched by the taint of civilization. As the day gave way to the velvety embrace of night, my flashlight cut through the inky darkness. The familiar sounds of the Australian bush accompanied me. The chirping of crickets, the occasional rustle of unseen creatures. But amid the rhythmic serenade of nature, a disconcerting undercurrent whispered through the air. The path led me to a remote area known as Blackened Gorge, a place steeped in aboriginal legends and mysterious tales. The air felt charged with an unseen energy as I navigated the uneven terrain. The ancient rock formations loomed like sentinels, their shadows dancing with the secrets they held. As I approached a cavernous opening in the rock, the temperature dropped noticeably. A chill seeped into my bones, and a spectral mist coiled around the entrance. The rustle of leaves transformed into a haunting melody, accompanied by the rhythmic beating of unseen drums. It was as if the very land was alive with ancient spirits. A distant echo reached my ears, a melodic hum that seemed to reverberate through the ages. The hairs on the back of my neck stood on end as the hum morphed into a haunting chant. The words were in an unfamiliar dialect, yet the essence of the message transcended language. A plea for harmony with the land and a warning against disturbing the natural order. As I ventured deeper into the gorge, the rock walls seemed to pulse with a subtle glow. Ethereal paintings adorned the cavern, depicting dreamtime stories and the spirits that guarded the sacred space. The air resonated with the echoes of ancient ceremonies, and I felt like an intruder in a realm beyond my understanding. A figure materialized before me, adorned in traditional indigenous attire. The eyes, ageless and wise, bore into mine. The guardian spirit spoke, not with words, but through a telepathic connection that transcended spoken language. Images of a pristine land, untouched by human interference, flooded my mind. a stark contrast to the reality of modern encroachment. Suddenly, the walls of the gorge seemed to close in, and the spectral mist thickened. The guardian spirit warned of consequences if the delicate balance between nature and man was disrupted. The very ground beneath me trembled, as if the ancient spirits were asserting their dominion over the land. With a sense of urgency, I retraced my steps, the haunting echoes of the Dreamtime chant fading as I emerged from the blackened gorge. The night air felt charged with a palpable energy, and the once familiar sounds of the outback carried a weight of ancient wisdom. In the days that followed, I couldn't shake the feeling that Kakadu National Park held secrets beyond the comprehension of modern science. The echoes of the outback lingered in my consciousness, a reminder that some mysteries are best left undisturbed in the timeless embrace of the Australian wilderness. Fifth story, The Veil of Shadows by Marcus Rodriguez. As a newly appointed park ranger, my first solo shift in the dense woodlands of Shenandoah National Park was met with both excitement and trepidation. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows that played tricks on my senses. The rustling leaves and the distant hoot of an owl set the stage for a night shrouded in mystery. The trail I followed wound its way through the ancient trees, their branches reaching out like gnarled fingers in the twilight. The dense foliage created a natural canopy that seemed to close in around me. A sense of isolation settled over the forest, amplified by the absence of any signs of human activity. As I approached a clearing bathed in the silvery glow of the moon, an unsettling feeling crept over me. The air grew heavy, and a peculiar mist coiled around the trees like a spectral serpent. My flashlight flickered, casting erratic shadows that danced on the edge of my vision. A distant whisper, like the breath of a ghost, teased my ears. I radioed the base, seeking reassurance in the familiar voices of my colleagues, but only static replied. Undeterred, I pressed on, my senses heightened by the eerie silence that enveloped me. Unseen eyes seemed to watch my every move, and a chill ran down my spine as I stumbled upon an ancient stone circle. The circle, bathed in an ethereal glow, resonated with an energy that transcended the natural world. Symbols etched into the stones seemed to pulse with a life of their own. As I studied the enigmatic carvings, a presence materialized before me, a figure cloaked in shadows with eyes that gleamed like distant stars. The mysterious entity spoke, not in words, but in emotions that surged through my consciousness. It conveyed a tale of a forgotten realm that existed between the living and the spectral. The stone circle, a portal to this otherworldly dimension, had been disturbed by the encroachment of human presence. As the figure recounted tales of a malevolent force that lingered beyond the veil, the very air seemed to vibrate with a foreboding energy. The whispers returned, coalescing into ghostly apparitions that danced on the fringes of my perception. The boundary between reality and the supernatural blurred, and I felt like an unwitting participant in a cosmic drama. With a gesture from the shadowy figure, the stone circle pulsed with an otherworldly light. The air crackled with an unseen force, and the forest itself seemed to come alive. The trees whispered ancient incantations, and the ground beneath me trembled as the veil between worlds thinned. In a moment of clarity, I retreated from the stone circle, stumbling through the darkened forest. The whispers pursued me, now a chorus of disembodied voices that echoed with an eerie lament. The moon cast long shadows that seemed to reach out like spectral hands, urging me to escape the clutches of the supernatural. As I emerged from the woods disheveled and bewildered, The stone circle remained silent in the distance. The whispers faded, and the forest returned to an uneasy calm. The events of that night remain etched in my memory, a haunting reminder that within the seemingly tranquil embrace of Shenandoah National Park, ancient forces lingered, waiting for the veil to be lifted once more. Thank you for delving into the depths of these spine-chilling tales with us. If you're hungry for more bone-chilling stories, the video you see on the screen is one of my absolute favorites. It's a truly hair-raising experience. Your support means the world to us, so don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Which story left you with an eerie feeling? Let us know, and stay tuned for more gripping narratives that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Until next time, stay curious, stay brave, and may your nights be free of the haunting echoes of these park ranger nightmares.